Imagine lounging on a beautiful beach, watching the sunset, no office job to report to on Monday, not a worry in the world. The only thing you're focused on is which flavor of margarita are you gonna order next. So many people save their entire lives so that they can have this ideal retirement scenario, but why? Yesterday, I watched a show on Netflix talking about retirement and how so many people dream about having $1 million in savings so that they can have a happily ever after and a nice back end of their life. In reality, despite having 401k as a mechanism to get us there, most people can't reach enough money to save and retire, and there's actually a fear that people can outlive their savings, which is a scary thought. Many people work in harsh professions so that they can have a pension, but in reality, this fails them. And then finally, Social Security. I didn't really know exactly how this worked until I watched a show. Did you know that you and I are paying at least 6% of our annual income in the form of taxes towards Social Security so that we can fund the retirement of folks that are relying on the government? And it's almost a pyramid scheme in a way, the way I'm looking at it, because we are paying that cost for other people, and then one day, other people, younger demographic, will pay and fund our retirement, which I am completely in agreement and see the value of having a social safety net. But what we're going to talk about in this video is the problem with retiring early. There's a lot of people who fall in the FIRE community, financial independence, retire early. I'm sure you've seen groups, you've seen messaging that, hey, save every dollar you make, live a frugal life, and then you can retire early. You can retire at 40, and then you can just live the best life ever, 40 to 80, 90, 100, however long you live. I'm here to tell you that you don't want to think like that, and you shouldn't want to retire early. And let me go into why and how I'm thinking about it. But first, if you want to live longer, and this is scientific backed, go ahead and smash the like button. Actually destroy it. It will show your level of physical fitness right now. So destroy the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. That ask was a little bit cringy, so thanks for sticking with me. In reality, guys, I watched this documentary. It was eye-opening. There's so many people out there that can't save for retirement, and I'm incredibly empathetic to them because they grew up in circumstances that prevented them, and they didn't have the financial literacy or the paths to get in professions like myself and many of you who are in sales. And we're just so lucky to have the opportunity. And the way I'm looking at it as a 25-year-old guy could be perceived as incredibly ignorant. Hey, Trent, it's easy for you to say that I shouldn't retire early. You haven't been working 10, 20 years. I'm sure that when I'm 50, I'm sure that when I have a family, I'm sure that when I have more responsibilities and I've accumulated enough wealth, I'm sure that my level of intensity and wantingness, that wasn't a word, desire to work will go away. But right now, at this stage of my life, everyone's saying, hey, max out your 401k. Hey, let's get this stock so that we can retire early. And the way I'm thinking about it and the way I'm looking at it, and when I see people like Warren Buffett, he's still working well into his 80s, 90s. And a common thing amongst a lot of successful people is that they work because they love the process. They work because they love what they're doing. A lot of people work so that they can clock in and clock out, get a paycheck. And many of those people want to retire early. Many of those people want to have $1 million in savings. But if you were trying to live an extraordinary life, if you were trying to not be just an average middle-class person, then I'm here to tell you that you should not want to retire early, but rather you should focus on finding a profession that you love, that you can do for a long period of time. Many professional athletes, they make a lot of money, they have this peak earning years between 25, 30, 35, and then they hit it and quit it, and then they get out. They lose their purpose, they lose money, and then that's really it. We have the unique opportunity working in business, working in sales, that we can do this forever. I can work in business forever. And the way I'm looking at it is that the longer I work, the longer I'm gonna live. And the problem with retiring early is I believe you die sooner. And before you get angry, before you take to the comments, let me explain. If you wake up in the mornings with no purpose, that may seem nice, the idea of an easy life, the idea of comfort. And it is really it is really calming to think, hey, I'll retire, I won't have any worry in the world. But I really think that when you get to that point, you'll lose your purpose. And if you wake up in the mornings without a purpose, I think you'll die sooner because you really won't have anything to do. And a lot of people think, oh, I'll get in really great shape. Oh, I'll have grandkids to hang out with. That will keep me young. All that can be great, but I'm here to say that you need something to keep you engaged. You need something to keep your mind sharp. You need something to keep you focused on what's ahead. And right now, my drug is the future. All I think about is the future. All I think about is my future self. And in this retirement documentary, they said people are really bad at visualizing their future self. It almost seems like a stranger, which is why people don't delay the gratification of putting away their resources to save now so that they can have money later, which is why so many people can't retire early. Of course, we can acknowledge that, but I'm here to say that you shouldn't want to retire early. Me personally, I see myself working until the brakes fall off, or I'll probably stop a little before I lose my mental clarity, but I really see myself working into my probably mid to late 70s, if not early 80s, because at that point, I think I'm going to be a master at whatever I'm doing. I think I'm going to be leading industry in whatever I'm focused on. And of course, I'm sure it's hard to work for a corporation for that long because they probably want to scoot you out the door around 60. So by that point, hopefully I have my own business, but I'm going in circles here, and really the key point here is that you shouldn't want to retire early. You shouldn't be focused on maxing out your 401k. You should be focused on getting great at what you're doing now and trying to accumulate as much as you can, and also love what you're doing. If you love what you're doing, you're going to want to do it longer. And if you love the process and the feeling of satisfaction, that's why I do it. I don't work for the money. I work for the satisfaction of knowing I'm maximizing my potential. And the thought of retiring one day and not having really any purpose to maximize my potential, I'm sure charitable efforts, I'm sure physical fitness, that could fill the void, but it's a scary thought to me, which is why I wanted to put together this video. So many people right now, if you're watching this, are probably offended and probably hate this message. So if you're still with me to the end, would love to hear your thoughts on this below. Are you hoping to retire early? What is your ideal retirement age? And if I see a 59 and a half, oh, that's what I'm gonna get my 401k. Let me know your reasoning there, because that whole thing's ridiculous. I actually went on my 401k today and lessened my contribution because I'm not worried about that. I'm gonna make my money without the 401k. That's just a cherry on top per se. So hopefully when I'm old and retired, I'll want to eat a lot of Sundays and put cherries on top. So yeah, let me know what you think of this messaging. Really the premise of this video, retiring early shortens your life. The longer you work, the longer you live. And of course, if you're in a really tough manufacturing job, then that may be difficult. Completely recognize that and understand, and really can't. I mean, I mowed lawns for a while. I get it. It's physical labor is not fun. So yeah, you may be able to say I'm in a privileged position, but yeah, I just wanted to remind you that work hard, maximize what you got now, and then let's build for the future, and let's hopefully have the best life we possibly can. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel, like the video. We'd love to hear from you in the comments below, and I will see you next time. Bye.